Let's see.
So I've got more stories.
Oh yeah, Nashville.
Mm-hmm. So when you're going to go to Nashville, what's one of the first things that comes to your mind? I say Nashville, and you
When
think,
do we leave? When do we leave to go home?
Grand Ole Opry.
Yes, the Grand Ole. Now what's the Grand Ole Opry? Now the Grand Ole Opry, the longest running radio show in the country.
Yeah.
Now as I was learning about this, and I always thought music and the spoken word was the longest running. And there's a whole Reddit feed about this, by the way, about people arguing about which has been going on longer. The Grand Ole Opry in 1925 started. Okay. Music and the spoken word was 1929. So, but around the same time.
Okay.
And Grand Ole Opry started at a radio station in Nashville where they would have live performers come into the radio station and do music live on the radio. And it got so popular that people started showing up at the radio station to listen to it live. And they're like, we got too many people here, we got to move it somewhere.
Howdy.
So you're picturing the Grand Ole Opry in your mind. You're picturing, and if you go to x96.com/live, there's a picture there that I took at the Grand Ole Opry because was one of the things my sister Mikkel said, well, we're here in Nashville, we got to go to the Grand Ole Opry. Of course, you got to do that. And if you're remembering the stage, perhaps there was a wooden set piece that looked like a red barn on the stage. You're picturing that in your mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they moved to.
Hold on now. Hold on.
Moved, though.
Hold on.
Is Opryland still there?
So you're picturing this cool old, Grand Ole Opry thing, and so we get in an Uber and we're like, take us to the Grand Ole Opry, which used to be in this kind of an old Presbyterian church, I think is what it was, in downtown Nashville, which is now the Ryman Theater. Yeah. In the 70s, they moved the Grand Ole Opry out to a mall parking lot.
Well, to Opryland.
Yeah.
And it was kind of an amusement park.
It's ridiculous.
I went there. Jerry James worked there a summer, as I recall.
In the 70s, it moved. It's just, you drive past the Olive Garden. You can show the other picture now, Katie. You drive past the Olive Garden.
Were there rides there? I seem to remember there were rides there.
There's a picture, x96.com/live. There's a picture of me and my very disappointed sister because right next to the Grand Ole Opry, there's a Dave & Buster's and a Forever 21. And it's just a mall. It is not.
When I was there were people wandering around dressed as musical notes and instruments and.
It's dumb. I'm telling anybody that thinks I'm going to Nashville.
Dumb men too. Yeah.
I'm going to Nashville and I want to go to the Grand. Do not go.
Farron Young is rolling over in his grave.
It's not what you think it's going to be. Now you can go to the Ryman Auditorium, which is what you're picturing, and they have concerts there and things. And we looked into going there, and it was sold out because it's a much smaller place.
Did you go to the scene of my great movie triumph, the Parthenon Park?
So that was another thing we were going to go to that I was skeptical about. There's a recreation of the Parthenon in Nashville.
Yeah, that's where I filmed a day of filming of the movie Nashville.
We didn't make it over there, but all accounts were it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know, Bill. What was it?
It looks like. It looks
and
like
why?
the Parthenon. It's a nice park. I don't know.
And why is the Parthenon?
I don't know.
There's some, and it's really a lame excuse. I remember seeing it on a TV show once, and I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
it was like a really weak excuse.
But to go back to the Grand Ole Opry, the other thing you think about with the Grand Ole Opry is Minnie Pearl, right?
Howdy.
Minnie Pearl's thing was she had a hat with the price tag hanging off of it.
She was a comedian.
She died some time ago.
She was buried with that hat,
as she should be. And inadvertently paid tribute to Minnie Pearl on this trip because we found a store that was selling 3-for-1 boots. Buy one pair, get three pair.
That's
You
never.
get 3 boots.
You get
three pair.
Three pair.
That's,
of
Buy one
boots.
boot and we'll give you
that's
3
not
others.
a good idea.
So I,
No.
but I get a pair. My sister gets a pair. You know, we get the 3 pair. I was very excited to walk around Nashville in my new boots, which I put on, and I was wearing long pants with the boots, and I wore them all day. And I get back to the hotel room to take off the boots, and I realize I have been walking around all day with a giant tag. Looks like I stole the boots. Left the tag on the boots.
And I bet people couldn't take their eyes off of that. Nobody noticed. Nobody
It was
noticed.
shameful. Let's see. What else do we have time to talk about right
I'm
now?
trying to see if I seem to remember rides being in Opryland, but
I mean, we didn't investigate Opryland, but it's dumb.
All right.
Don't go to. I'm just saying, don't go to
Okay.
Opryland. If
And
you're
don't go
gonna
to Kid Rock's place.
Don't go to Kid Rock's place. Go to Robert's Western World. So Robert's Western World was purchased in the early 90s. It was a Western store, and they turned it into a honky tonk. And it is now owned by this Brazilian guy who's the name of his band is the Brazil Billies.
Brazil.
They're
what?
Brazilian hillbillies.
yeah.
Brazil Billies.
And he was performing that afternoon while we were there. And while we're there, we're sitting at this little table. And the table in front of us, there was an older couple sitting there.
Okay.
And they were chatting with my sister Mikkel, and that they live in Nashville, and they come to Robert's all the time. You get the fried bologna sandwich there. And there was a young man. So this couple probably in their early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. This young man in his 20s starts striking up a conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
This is, if you go to my Instagram page, and I told you the stories I was going to tell today, this one is called The Handsy Dutch Boy. And the older woman leans over to my sister, and she's like, "This young man is so nice. He's from the Netherlands."
Ooh.
And we were very suspicious of the motives of this 20-year-old
Why?
Dutch boy. He's trying to get money out of these people somehow, I think. And he kept hugging the old lady and kissing her on the cheek, and he wanted something.
Of course.
Maybe he just wanted affection, Gina.
I don't know, but at some point in the evening, so the table, it was my sister and my cousin's wife, Christine, we were at one table, and the men were sitting behind us at another table because there's just really small tables. At some point in the night, a handsy Dutch boy approaches my husband and says, "What are you drinking there? I'd like to buy you a beer." And my husband's like, I'm good, thanks. Handsy Dutch boy is up to something.
Maybe there are nice people in this
No,
world, Gina.
that's not it.
Nope.
That is not it. He's by himself and walking up to people.
And he's
that are-
lonely. He's lonely, and he's a nice guy.
No, handsy Dutch boy. No, we did not go to Kid Rock's bar.
All right.